Insomniac commented on this, and they didn't definitively say no. So the people are still holding out hope that they may end up actually doing this. Again, I don't think it's going to happen, but here is what they say. Somebody asks Spider-Man to Xbox. The thing is, they had no reason to respond to this reply. There's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of replies on their posts, and generally they don't respond to most of them. But for some reason, they did decide to respond to this, and they didn't just outright say no. Someone asked Spider-Man to Xbox, and they respond here, not likely, which gives people the hope that there could be a chance, whatever that would take. But not likely isn't an outright no, meaning, hey, they may have at some point thought that as a possibility. Regardless, I don't think it's going to happen, but regardless, it doesn't matter because they're going to be there anyway on the next Xbox. If you're somebody who just refuses to buy a PlayStation 5, you don't ever want to touch that platform or ecosystem, you wait a couple more years, you're going to be able to access everything basically on the next Xbox because they will be in Steam and they will be in PC. Spider-Man is on Steam. You can go and download it and play it there. You're getting more than likely the better experience there, depending on the rig that you have hooked up right now. So yeah, either way, regardless, will they port it natively? Probably not, but it doesn't really matter. Now, Highguard, we know this game. What a whirlwind of events for Highguard. The final showcase or the final trailer at the Game Awards had a lot of people scratching their head why this happened. Then news came out after that this was hand selected by Jeff Keighley because he played it, he liked it. He just thought that they deserved this spot and just offered it up to them. You're hearing like the conspiracy theories now. How much investment does Jeff have in the studio? All of that. I don't think or believe any of that is true. I honestly think Jeff's probably just friends with these guys. He played the game, he liked it, and he was genuinely wanting people to see it and thought giving them the last spot in the Game Awards would help it. Kind of naive because we know that the way the internet does work, and there's just non-stop negativity around gaming, regardless of the game that comes out. People think that they're fighting some sort of culture war or they're being righteous in what they're standing for. But a lot of people just hate on basically every single game. There's no rhyme or reason. There seems no real principle behind the hatred. Highguard, on the other hand, there is a lot of legitimate criticism towards this game. Like, I don't think all the criticism was just people hating on it. I think lots of legitimate criticism, and definitely a game that needs to cook more. They need to be able to improve upon it, and potentially could be something good because there were some good things on this game. But you have a former Highguard dev here who, as we know, they laid off a bunch of people. They're keeping the game alive at Wildlight, but they laid off the majority of their staff. So clearly they weren't bringing in the revenue. Something I talked about earlier, you could have 1 million people on day one for a free-to-play game. It means absolutely nothing if nobody is making purchases via the microtransactions. And I feel like that's kind of what happened here because they had a very big launch. A lot of people jumped in and played it, but how long did they play and did they purchase anything? I think not very long and probably nothing. We have a former Highguard dev calling out players for slandering the game before they played it. And this is Josh Sobel, technical artist who worked on Highguard, and he writes an extended reflection about how the game's launch went. He says, but then the trailer came out and it was all downhill from there. Content creators love to point out the bias in folks who give positive previews after being flown out for an event, but ignore the fact that when their negative leaning content gets 10 times the engagement of the positive, they've got just as much incentive to lean into a disingenuous direction, whether consciously or not. And that I actually 100% agree with. There are a lot of people who just lean in the negative regardless of what they think or the reality behind it, because negative content gets you way more views. And I know that. I've tested it out. It gets you way more views if you are just always disingenuinely negative about everything. People love to be mad about stuff. Then he goes on here and says, they laughed at me for being proud of the game, told me to get out the McDonald's applications, and mocked me for listing having autism in my bio, which they seem to think was evidence that the game would be woke trash. So calling out content creators for that. He says, look, I wish Highguard had been received better. I wish the feedback had been better. Part of that's on us, right? We didn't put our heads in the sand. We as a team saw the feedback. We're gamers ourselves. We're online ourselves reading the feedback. I think ultimately we could have made a different trailer, a better trailer that wasn't about entertaining, which is what we think the Game Awards was about. We could have made something that did a better job at highlighting the unique loop of the game. So that's on us. We take that, but the team is resilient. And I think a couple of things with Highguard, as I mentioned, there are some legitimate criticism that they need to take into account here. Not all of it is just people shitting on the game. And if they continue to improve it, you never know, a player base could come back. But he is correct that before people even tried the game, it was instantly cooked. Like, it was instantly just nonstop negativity surrounding it. People were basically, I think, sitting there hoping it would fail. And right now it seems like it is failing. So we'll see if they can improve upon it. It's not perfect. It's not great. They're also putting out a multiplayer live service game in an era where a lot of them are failing. So it kind of seems like a lot of these developers are just hitting their heads against the wall, thinking that because they have something new, it will just get through everything that's already out there and break that wall. Seems like it is very hard. Highguard itself is not unique enough. There's a lot of mechanics in it that are there for, I would say, really no reason that they need to improve upon. And obviously not launching the game with the 5v5 mode was a bad idea. So who knows, maybe they continue to work on it. Maybe it gets a really niche crowd that does enjoy it, and those people spend microtransactions on it, and it's enough for it to survive. But we'll see. As of right now, it is not looking good. But I do think there was that aspect of, yeah, people were just hating on it. They hated it, probably didn't even play the game or try it out at all, but just jumping on the negative bandwagon, because it does get you that engagement, it does get you that those views, and that's just the reality. You can't really deny that. Kingdom Come Deliverance getting a big upgrade here for the Series X and S. It's rolling out here on Xbox Game Pass. The game, if you want to go check it out, is there, but they're giving you a nice update with it as well. They say, as a part of Kingdom Come Deliverance 2's anniversary celebration, and as a reward to fans of the franchise, the existing PlayStation 4 and Xbox One owners will be upgraded for free in an update available from today to help them rediscover Henry's saga from the start and witness the rise of young Henry. And they go over that you're getting performance and fidelity that is improved. You get it up to 60 FPS, making everything from intense combat to simple gallop through the woods feel even more responsive. And then console players also now have enhanced visual fidelity and graphical features for a smoother experience, ensuring the world of Bohemia is an immersive, vibrant, and as crisp as possible. So that's the first game, as it does come out here to Xbox Game Pass. You're getting those nice updates to it as well. So if you've never tried Kingdom Come Deliverance, you can go now, download it on Game Pass. You can get this update, and you're gonna experience it better than the people who played it on day one. Again, another reason why we are in this weird era of waiting for games after their launch generally gives you the best and better experience overall. So yeah, we'll see. I've never played this series. I've been told so many times to play it. I think I will eventually end up checking this out. I don't even know if I need to start with the first one before I jump to the second, but I just, at some point, I'll need to eventually check out Kingdom Deliverance.